Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I'm going to show you how to make this little gift idea for a hostess or a team member who's achieved a goal milestone, or just for yourself actually, because it's really rather nice, but it makes a really lovely little gift idea for whoever. I have cased it from Jill George, and her blog is called Signed with Ink. Hers was all stamped on the front, and I have gone with showing off this beautiful foiled designer series paper that's in the Affectionately Yours designer series paper pack. And then we've got a little bit of die cutting here with a single bit of stamping, and it's actually really easy to make. When you open the box, there's enough space in here for 6 envelopes plus a few spares and 6 note cards. I'm not going to show you making note cards and things, I just want to show you how to make the box. It's really simple. It's 1 cover, 2 pockets, cover with designer series paper, job done. So the products that you're going to need is the Sweet and Sassy framelits dies, and you'll need your Big Shot to go with that, with a magnetic platform or multi-purpose platform if you haven't got one. The sentiment comes from the Happy Happening stamp set. Lots of lovely sentiments on there. And then the rest of it is all about, I've actually left my ribbon over the other side, so I'll grab that in a moment. The rest of it is just cutting and scoring and sticking. So I'm using tear and tape for my sticking. And before I go through the sizes of cardstock and designer series paper with you, I'm going to grab my ribbon. Can't be missing that, can I? Now you notice there's no scoring tool up on my desktop here, and that's just because we've got quite low ceilings. I've got a wooden workshop, like a what's the word for it? I can't think of the word for it. Anyway, it's got fairly low pitched roofs in here, and I can't actually get the camera set up with the height I need to be able to look down and have my scoring tool down here. So I'm going to be using my stamping trimmer with the scoring blade. Right, so the base cardstock is pumpkin pie, and the designer series paper, as I say, is from the Affectionately Yours, and we're using 2 different papers from there. The same pattern, but one is foiled, one isn't. Right, so let's get going with the actual measurement. So the actual cover for the card is 30 centimetres by 15. That's right, 13 by 15. And then you want, for the front and back cover, for the front cover you want that beautiful foiled cardstock, and that measures 13.6 by 14.6 centimetres, or 5 6/8 by 5.5 inches. I will make sure, I'm going to talk in centimetres, but I will make sure that all the imperial measurements are on my blog. This is pretty much the same paper on a smaller scale that's not foiled, and this also measures 14.6 by 13.6 centimetres, or 5 6/8 by 5.5 inches. So one is the back cover, one is the front cover. Obviously the beautifully foiled one will be on the front cover. Then your 2 pockets are identical. And they measure in imperial 4 3/4 by 7 7/8, and metric is 18.7 by 10.2 2 centimetres. All right, so 2 of those, and then the designer series paper to cover those, 2 of them measuring 12.8 by 8.1 centimetres. See, simple. Right, so to start off with, and I haven't written down my scoring measurements. I know that it is 5.5 and 6.5 inches. So grab my Stampin trimmer and you want to move that cutting blade right out the way. Twice I made the mistake of using the cutting blade instead of the scoring blade. So if you're using your trimmer, then you just line up with the 5.5 and the 6.5. So you want your extension side out, and you want 5.5 centimetres, 5.5 inches. I'm so used to talking in inches. And we'll score there, and then onto 6.5 inches, which is there, and score again. And then you just want to fold along those score lines, and using your bone folder, just give them a score. And that's the spine of your card front. So before we cover this, you want to put your ribbon on. So the easiest thing is the tear and tape, and pop that on a piece of ribbon. I'm using the move my camera, using the Peekaboo Peach because it works really well with the pumpkin pie cardstock, which I've used for this project. And then you just want to cut off a section ready, and then repeat again, so 2 lengths like that, because you want enough to be able to tie a knot or a bow. There you go, and you want them to be sort of facing one another. Bring this in because I seem to be working my way up and you're losing me. So with sticky side down, pop down fairly straight the first piece of ribbon with tape on. And what did I do with the other bit, or did I not? Didn't cut it off, did I? There you go. And then you repeat that, trying to get it reasonably lined up with this piece here, but it's not essential, I have to say. Just eyeballing it is fine. You then want your Tombow, which is a great liquid glue. Do not confuse it with PVA glue. They're not the same thing. The first thing I want to show you, can you hear the difference in that in the designer series paper? This is regular designer series paper. Look at how little movement there is. That's a really thick, it's almost like cardstock. So luxurious and so beautiful. Right. So all the way around the edges, bit in the middle, and then we're just going to pop this down on the front cover. And make sure there's a bit of a border around it and give it a good rub. This takes 2 or 3 seconds to bond. If you wanted to, you could put a strip down the spine. I haven't personally, but there's no reason why you couldn't. And then you do the same with the second square, but this one isn't foiled, so this is going to go down on here like this. So again, dun, dun, dun. And you'll probably notice I haven't been on doing many videos. We have had a dreadful time. I know we always have a bad time with our internet. The last video took 3 days to upload with 2 aborts because of the storms, and we had flooding, and it's just been dreadful. So I haven't actually been able to do anything. Right, so now for the pockets. So you want 2 of these, and they measure, I've given you the measurements, but we are going to score these at 1 centimetre and not 1 centimetre, I'm telling you, like 1/2 inch and 1 inch on 3 sides. So I find it, because I don't work in inches very often, I find it easier to go to the inch, score, and move it back to the 1/2 inch. 1/2. There we go. That's that one. And then you do it on 2 other sides. So 1 and 1 and 1/2, and then that last side 1 and 1/2 centimetre. That's your first pocket, and then your second pocket is just the same, so 1 inch and 1/2 inch on 3 sides, and it's the side you don't want to be scored is one of the long sides. And that is all the scoring and all the trimming done. So you can see it's quite quick. And I've marked on here where you need these 3 corner pieces removed. There, right? And then we can cut in. Always bothers me doing things like this. Got a feeling I might have done that wrong. We'll see. I'll know as soon as I start folding the pocket up. And then just score, and not score, but burnish all of those folds. The 1 centimetre, the 1 inch. See, I'm so used to doing centimetres, I just automatically talk in it. Just burnish all of those score lines, which I should have done first, and then I wouldn't have got myself confused. So what you're doing is you're building up like this. So it comes around and forms a pocket like so. So this comes around and down, so yeah, I can take that tab off there. Right, hopefully you can see that. So this comes in, this comes in, and then that goes down and folds So it goes like this. Yeah? I'll show you that again. So with this side, if I show you, you bring the 2 1/2 inches up, you bring that bit in, and then this tucks over. And all you need is a bit of glue in that corner. And you just want to make sure that the way you've cut it is exactly the same on both sides. So I need to go to there and take off that bit. I wasn't quite there. So you just want it so it all nicely folds over. There, on this end. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow. So I get it up here, I put a little bit of Tombow, and it only needs to be a dot like that. Bring it up, match the sides, and then just give it a squeeze, hold it in place until it bonds. And whilst that's there, I'm going to cut this piece at the same time so that I don't get into a pickle. Okay, right, so that one's bonded, and then we just want this corner to be bonded as well. So you just have to tuck these bits in, bring it round, so just nice dob of glue here. There you go. And just be cautious of what you're doing with your Tombow, because it has a habit of making your fingers, and I put my dob in the wrong place. There you go. Sticky. And I'm only going to show you one pocket, otherwise the video will go on and on and on and on. So hopefully I've done this one right. There you go. And these I hope everybody in the UK has their Father's Day cards all in order. As it's this weekend, it probably doesn't coincide within the States because you tend to have your Mothering and Father's Sundays differently to us. That's that side, that's that side. And then all we're doing now is putting tape on these 3 sides. And the tear and tape fits perfectly along here, and it's great. I did try Tombow and I just ended up in a real sticky mess, and I just defaulted back to my tear and tape. You can be more precise and use scissors. I just find it tears so easily, but doesn't matter. managed to mess that corner up, look. I'll stick it down with tape, don't worry. One, two. If you do get Tombow on you, it will go sort of black. It doesn't rub off like PVA glue or craft glue, whatever you call it, and you will find that if you just get a baby wipe, it will come off. I find if you get it on, if you notice it quickly, just give it a good rub and it will come off straight away. Right, so bring in your case. This is where you just want to take a little bit of time to make sure you get your two sides roughly lined up. So just remove all of the tape cover. See, everything's sticking to my fingernails now. That's what Tombow does. It's a super adhesive. Once on, it's going nowhere. And now my tape doesn't want to come off. Pokey tool, get my paper piercing tool, get the covering off with that. There we go. Should have done that first, shouldn't I? And then you just want to try and hold those two pockets roughly in place, and you just, it's not easy from this perspective, but you want to get it as even as you can make it. And to get that adhesive right on, just use your bone folder. If you haven't got a bone folder, then just get your craft scissors in there. So you just want to try and place the pocket and then use your bone folder just to get all of those edges done. There we go. That's one side, and then we'll do this side, and I'm going to use my paper piercing tool from the off, I think, this time. Okay. If there's any rough edges from the tape, just tuck it in. I've got a little bit here, so you just roll it in and that's fine. And then this pocket down here, so you just want to try and get it as even as possible. And you could, if you wanted to, make a pen holder here, couldn't you, in the middle section here. That would be quite nice as well. And again, just get in there with your bone folder just to get all of those edges down. That's the basic box. So you can leave it like that, or you can decorate it. And for the speed it takes for the decoration, we might as well decorate, mightn't we? So back to Tombow. One side and then the other. Just pop your hand inside just until that bonds. You could use fast fuse, that would work as well. I thought I would try and keep the amount of products to a minimum today. because although it's not a complicated box, it's actually a very simple box to make. It does take time, and I do try. I know I rarely achieve it, but I do try to. And there you can see how beautifully that folds up, and then you can just use your tie, and then we'll do the finishing touches, because it wouldn't be a project for me without a bit of stamping. So just trim up your ends if they need it. So pop that to one side, and now we need a scrap of Whisper White cardstock, and what colour shall we go for? I think I used black last time and it did stand out, so why change the recipe? Basic, no, not grey, I want basic black. I've already mounted the stamp on the block. It's a lovely sentiment. It says, "Let the celebration of your fabulousness begin." Super. Now you do have to stamp a bit harder when you're using archival ink pads like this. Because it's more like a fabric covering that the ink is soaked into, rather than sponge, which most of Stampin' Up stamps are. Right, so there's your little sentiment. You then want to pick 2 sizes of framelits die, and I've just realised I've put all of my pumpkin pie cardstock away. Oh dear. Actually, I'll tell you what I shall use. That will make quite a nice contrast, I think. It's sitting here on my desk waiting to be put away, so use it. Right, so you just want to find the best fit for your stamp. So many of these framelits in here, love it. So it's a fairly small one for this. I think probably that one. Yeah. And then we want the one that is a size up, so those 2 there. Put that there. Right. Stamp set can go away. Bring the big shot up. Ooh. I'm using the magnetic platform because I'm using thinlits or framelits dies. But you can use a multi-purpose platform. There is a new multi-purpose platform which I shall show you the next time I do some dry embossing. But it's made the multi-purpose platform simpler, so you have the main platform, and then you have one thinner platform that you can add on when you're using thinlits dies, and that is it. So they really have made it a lot easier. Right, so that's the sentiment. Will that work? Yeah, it might do. We'll see, shall we? It's probably because I was being clever. I've got an absolute stack of pumpkin pie cardstock, and I've been using it to make mock-ups of boxes for forthcoming projects, and yeah, so that's what I was doing just before I started filming, and put all the cardstock away to tidy my space up. See, I should be an untidy worker, and then it would be fine. Right, So will that work? I think that will work, look. And just, it gives it a bit of a grungy look. So some Stampin' dimensionals on the back of both of these. And I think as a extra little something, I'm going to use a bit of gold thread. Which is this lovely thing here. It's almost like fishing line. So just wrap it around a few fingers. Make some nice big loops. Do have to hold on to it until you're ready to use it. And then the easiest way, take one of these dimensionals off. Let's do off of here. And then what you want to do is anchor the foil, the thread on your dimensional. And then when you put it down, there is enough dimensional left to bond with your next layer, and it will stick. And then take these off. Move these out of the way so you can see the project nicely when it's finished. You can see that gold thread there, which is really pretty, and it works really well with the gold thread on here. And there you have it. That's today's project. I'd love to see your versions of this. As I say, I will put imperial and metric measurements up on my tutorial on my blog, and yeah, just share with me if you make any of these. Tell me why you've made them as well, whether you're making them for family or for friends, or as part of gifts for your team members as they get promotion, or any other reason really. I'd just love to hear what you're doing with them. And that's it for today. I'm already tidying up. Look, can you tell I'm a bit OCD? As always, my social media information is in the show more section under today's video. It includes my online store, my blog, what else, all my Facebook pages, LinkedIn, everything where I've got accounts, so Pinterest board, everything. There is a community Pinterest board for Stamping at the Warren, and so long as I can see when you start following the board, if I can see that you have an interest in Papercraft, I will send you a little invite, and it's then up to you whether you join the board or not. But once you have joined the board, you can start pinning your own creations and other pins that inspire you, that are out there on Pinterest and on the web. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and hi, I don't know where my hand's gone, but hi to all my new followers on YouTube. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you supporting me, and I'll see you again very shortly with another project. Ta-ta for now.